So in today's enlisted video, we're going to be talking about the LMG Nerf, mobile anti-tank weapons, and the radio operator squad getting a smoke artillery. So in the recent update, the LMGs have been nerfed, a pretty big nerf actually. You can no longer really use them as medium to long range pseudo SMGs. They have increased dispersion when shooting on the move, which means shooting while moving is more RNG now. So with this, be ready for people to start using LMGs once more as marksman rifles. Also, if you stop moving, the gun is a laser, so it is really just a nerf to strafing and movement in general. So personally, I've never had an issue with LMGs being too powerful. I think pretty much every gun in the game is really powerful, even bolt actions in some sense. So I think this nerf is more of a nerf to slow down the game, because you had LMGs which had drum mags on it that had insane amounts of ammo, and you had people running around with SMGs. And I believe this is more of a thing that happened on the Battle of Berlin campaign, of people using these SMGs. So the issue I personally have with LMGs is completely different than what was changed. I dislike people using them as pseudo marksman rifles. And what do you mean by this, Dawg? Well, even in like beta of Enlisted, LMGs were very strong at range. So imagine you just have a bar. Let's just use the bar premium squads as examples, because this is whenever I figured out LMGs were kind of broken whenever it come to long range. So you have bolt actions, you have snipers that, hit people long range, but you can have the bar, which is pretty much an automatic rifle that can be turned into a semi rifle and pretty much get one shots all the way out to 100 to 200 meters. And even if you go further than that, I mean, it's still pretty easy to hit people with it. And I just felt like I could go prone across the map on Normandy and be able to shoot people, which I think was not really that fun to be on the receiving end of. So now let's talk about mobile anti-tank guns coming in a future update, or a future major update actually. So anti-tank guns are already in the game for the engineer class. The issue with them is you cannot move them after you place them down. So with this update, you'll be able to get your squad and move them around the map. I think this is a good change. It gives more use to anti-tank rifles. I just hope people don't use them as like gun shields and push objectives. Overall, I think it's a really good change, because I have placed down like anti-tank cannons before, and I've killed one tank and another tank spawned to like my left, and I cannot move the anti-tank gun to shoot him. But now I can if I have the squad, or I think you can even do it solo, but the more people you have, the faster it goes. So the last thing in this dev blog is smoke artillery. So with the smoke artillery, you'll be able to block off lines of sight towards the enemy, let your troops move in, hold off a flank, be able to flank, or just let your troops kind of like wander in it. So I have a video showing this off. You can call it smoke artillery, just like you can artillery, but you have a line. The longer the line is, the less the smoke covers you. So smoke artillery is twice as big as smoke grenades and lasts 60 seconds. So what do I think about this? I see this being a attacker's tool. Defending, you would always want to be able to see the enemy. I think the more or the longer time you have to see the enemy, the longer you have to shoot him, and he cannot come to your objective. But I personally think this will be more of an attacker's tool. So personally, I think the attacking side is easy to push right now, especially with some maps like Airfield. People who squad up will be able to use the smoke artillery very well, because they'll be able to call in multiple sets of them, depending on how the cooldown works. If your team wants to push with the smoke, it's kind of an iffy one, like if you're just playing with random players. But I think as a squad, you'll be able to use this very well. I personally would like them to add something to this, and hopefully that they do take this into consideration. I want them to add it where you cannot directly drop smoke on objectives. And the reason I want them to add this is because if you don't, you will have games where people just spawn the radio first spawn and just drop smoke on the objective and turn the game into just CQB soon as the game starts, or soon as an objective pops. And I think that is a horrible thing for Enlisted, to just be a CQB fight every time, where the defenders have no opportunity to snipe off the enemy coming at them. So we'll have to see what the cooldown is and the stipulations smoke artillery has. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.